everyone, and welcome to a new series. This is my single solo player Crusader Kings 2. My name is Gankom from Subject Neutral, and you've probably seen some of our other Crusader Kings 2 series. We have done one and are in the midst of another one. We have done our Crusader Kings Holy Warfare series, and we are also currently in the midst of one called Hot Seat. And both of those are multiplayer, and Hot Seat especially is a bit more of a madhouse, because in that, people are jumping around a lot, people are doing all kinds of weird things, people might switch countries, we have different players all the time. This is going to be a far more traditional game. In this one, we are playing single player. We have started off as the Lord of Oslandet. We have made a character, we'll go over that in a second, and we're going to do a very traditional playthrough and conquer the world. We have two goals for this series nation-wise. Goal 1, we want to reform the faith. We want to turn the Norse religion into an actual organized religion. To do that, we need to take several of the holy sites. There is one in Uppsala here, one here, one here, one down here, and another one in here somewhere. And then we can reform the faith once we get a bit more piety. Our second goal is to form the Empire of Scandinavia, which requires taking just about all this blue stuff. First, we're probably going, our first goal along the way is to become King of Norway. Now, normally, this was done, or at least started, by King Haraldr Fairhair. But because we have just started, we have made a character. So we're going to go over that. We are King Gankom of the House Neutral. House Neutral. I know I had to stop for a second there. I forgot whether I called him Neutral or Neutralia. We are Midas touched, so we are really good at getting money. We are good at, surprisingly, martial. Who knew? Our fertility is up. Stewardship is really good. Yada. We are Said, which I take just because it's free in the character thing. It costs 0 points. Why not? And it means we are patrilineally descended from Prophet Muhammad's uncles, or from the sons of his daughter, which is really weird for a red-headed Norwegian dude, but don't worry about it. It will probably have zero effect on this game, but it is something they'll transfer to all our kids, and I like it just for kind of the fluff, the backstory. We are strong, which gives us good health and martial. We are a genius, just like in real life. We are attractive, probably unlike in real life. That's watch the vlog, decide for yourself. Lustful, no comments on real life. Brave, and we start wounded, and this was to kind of balance out some of our stats and stuff. And also it will heal into a scar, which will give us some pretty good bonuses. So we have a couple of things we want to do right before we start off. We do start with a little army, so one of the things we want to do is pick an ambition. We have a couple. We're going to start with get married, because that's going to be step 2. After that, our ambition is going to become King of Norway. So now let's move on to get married. We want to find someone who's preferably Norse, good stats, not chaste, and brings us some good alliances. Who cares how hideous they look? She's 15. The rest of her stats aren't too bad. She doesn't really have any good stats there. That gets me a mayor as an ally. That's less good. Dutiful cleric. Cleric, not clerk. I'm not really seeing anyone with sort of great stats. Zealous I don't care about. Content could be really good, especially if we... Slothful is not. What's this? Poet? Detached priest? Oh, but they're all the wrong religion, and we can't fix that until much later when we reform the faith. So I'm not really seeing anyone who's that great. So we're probably going to come up here with, not Astrid, who was I looking at? There's someone else? We're going to go with the content person. We're going with Mare. We're going to take the prestige hit, and we're going to get on with our life. Next, let's check out our important decisions. Can't commission a runestone, but we will hold a great blot. It costs us a bit of gold, but it's going to raise our prestige, our piety, and it's going to make people like us a bit more. And then let's form this into one army. Now let's go over our council. So Crusader Kings 2, it's kind of like Risk meets Age of Empires. It's pretty complicated. You have to deal with diplomacy. You have to deal with family. It's some people like to call it a marriage or dynasty simulator as a bit of a joke, although it's not that much of a joke. And so what's really important is your family. You want to have kids. You want to have alliances. You can only make alliances by marrying people off. So let's go over our council, because we're going to need them if we want to get very effective in this. Why are you so angry at me? Short reign, title claimant. He could be a problem. So, we have Haraldur here, who is a really good in a lot of things. I think we're going to want to save him to become our marshal, however. Yes. So you can become our marshal. Let's forbid him to lead armies. Now we're checking, so that number here is this guy's ability. This is the ability that affects his position. We're just checking to see if anyone else has better abilities. No. In their respective areas. No. So let's get everyone working. Research cultural tech. Scheme so we're not going to get assassinated. Collect taxes. Research economy tech. Suppress revolts. Train troops. Research military tech. What's going to be better? Let's train troops for now, because I think we're going to have some problems with that Olafur guy. Improve diplomatic relations. Let's do that with Sweden, because it's going to become Sweden. Currently, it's Svivjod, I think. So we're going to get married. We have no heir. That's going to be a bit of a problem. So in this game, we need, for Christians anyway, in order to take a place, you need a claim. You need a reason. Because we're Norse, because we are pagan, we need substantially fewer reasons. We can take any coastal province we want from just about anyone. We can subjugate neighbors if they're pagans. We can, eventually we'll get holy wars and stuff. So it's generally a lot easier. Christians spend a lot of time having to fabricate claims. Now here is our army. So we can raise and lower troops. Right now we're not getting a lot of troops from various people because we're not very big. And some people do not like us. We're going to have to work on that as we go. In fact, I probably could have considered putting this guy improving relations with our own people. So let's see who else does not like us. Just two. Don't really care about him. He's pissed because he got fired from the council, which is a shame because he was pretty good. He wasn't terrible. Let's check out Olafur, because he's going to cause problems, because as soon as we start going to war and taking some losses, he's immediately going to rise up against us. So we're going to give him an honorary title. And now we can start the game. So we definitely want to start going to war. We want to get bigger. We definitely want to start taking over some of these places. So my plan is to just, after the blot, we're going to bump the speed up here, to just start conquering our way around here. Because once we can form the Kingdom of Norway, lots of these other bits will join in. But now I should say we're playing this game. We are not going to really min-max. We are not going to optimize. We are going to treat this a lot more role-play. In our multiplayer games, I do tend to min-max. I do tend to optimize. I'm the only one who does, which is why if you watch those series, my armies or my kingdom is always like way better. It's like nuts compared to everyone else. And that's because I spend a lot of time in between the shootings min-maxing various stuff. This series is going to be much more role-play. We're going to treat it like we are actually the character. And I should say, at this point, this is medieval times. It is a game. There will be some decisions that are not fantastic one way or the other. Some kind of weird ones, some very bloodthirsty ones. Actions in the game are not representative of my actual opinions. We are just playing this as a game. We are playing it for fun. I'm not going to murder my family, as is probably going to happen at some point in this game, because that happens a lot. But we are doing this for fun, and we are going to focus on the role play. So King Gankom is a just person. He's a proper Viking. He believes the strong should rule, and he believes very strongly in reforming the faith, and that the Norse religion is under threat from the gods to the south, the Christians and the Tengri and the Muslims, and he is very worried, and in order to fight back, we need to reform our faith and become a very huge power so that we can throw them back and spread the glory of Odin. So, let's start with, this is King Gankom and Gija have gotten married. We can collect a royal aid duty to pay for the ceremonies. Yes, it is everyone's concern, we gain a whole 1 gold, or no, people respect wealth, and we gain 100 prestige. We're going to take that because that is going to make up for what we lost marrying a lowborn. She accepted, and this is the blot. The guests have arrived, and the time has come for the blot to begin. You gather outside the temple and start by offering animals as sacrifice to the gods. While their meat is prepared for the feast that is to follow, the blood is sprinkled on statues of Odin, Thor, Freya, and the other gods, as well as the worshippers themselves. Now for the human sacrifice. We don't have anyone in our dungeon because we have just started off, so instead we're going to end up buying thralls. Now we have gotten married, we have completed that ambition, so we can take a new one. We could get rich or have kids, and that would be very useful. And we're definitely going to get it eventually, or at least I hope so, with our queen. But we are going to become King of Norway. This allows us to subjugate all the people in that border of Norway. Normally, a Norse or a pagan can only subjugate once a lifetime. With this ambition, we can subjugate as many times as we want, as long as they're within that border. Okay. As you have no prisoners languishing in your dungeons that are suitable for sacrifice at the blot, you are forced to make do with some randomly purchased thralls or slaves. They are brought to the big oak outside the temple, and soon their limp and lifeless bodies are hanging from its thick branches. Wonderful. Fun fact, but the Slavs... Let's pause for a second. Where's our culture? No, that's not it. This it? There's culture. With the sacrifice over, the feast at the end of the blot can now begin. The meat of the animals that was sacrificed has already been prepared, and there's plenty of meat to go around. So everyone's opinion of us gets boosted. So, where is... This isn't what I wanted. That's culture. Is it under religion, maybe? There we go. Slavic, this area. Fun fact, we get the word slaves from Slavics because the Norse raided them so much and took so many slaves that that's where the word slave comes from. We get a lot of words from Norse and the other Scandinavian people because of the constant conquest in England. In English, a lot of the English words are based on Old Norse or even German stuff. So let's get going. Let's immediately start our war on Telemark. We are eventually going to start raiding more, but I really want to get the jump on conquering. Gankom believes that we need to really increase our kingdom and become a major threat to the others around us. You are conversing with another guest when loud screams of passion interrupt. In one corner of the room, in full view of everyone else, Dag is engaged in carnal pleasures with one of the serving girls. Both are completely naked, and only when they notice the stunned silence in the room do they seem to remember where they are. Now, I'm lustful, so our response is, "Haha, you old dog, nicely done." To which he likes us more. So let's immediately start our war at Telemark. We have declared war. Let's raise our armies. We're going to lower speed just for a little bit. Oh, I didn't, in fact, raise all my armies. Let's raise all of them. There we go. So as you can see, we more than double him. But we're going to play safe, and we're going to gather everything up. Now, because we're not a king, we cannot decide generals for our army. It's pretty much just whoever shows up in that position. The feast is over, and with it the blot. It will be at least 9 years until you hold the next one. But as your vassals return home, most seem to agree that the ceremony was well worth the trip. Until next time. 9 was a holy number for the Norse. So that's why we have our sacrifice every 9 years. At the time, the sacrifices, that doesn't really happen in game, but at the time you would have sacrificed 9 of 9 different things. After I had made another courtier cry, the third one in a short week, I felt a bit embarrassed. Is this really who I am? A cruel man who likes to hurt people? Who am I kidding? I love this. Chance to gain cruel. Or, oh, the All-Father, what have I done? Forgive me, please. Chance to gain kind. We're going to go with kind. We're not a cruel person, and we did get it. Treating people nicely feels good. I have gained the kind trait. Aw. So we are going to merge all of our armies here. And we are going to march into Telemark. We are general on one flank, and Sigurd is general on the other, which could be rough. Oh, he does like us. Okay, it's just one of our courtiers. As we gain land, we're probably going to give some to Haraldur, who we replace. He's the character you normally play. And he has really good stats, so we definitely want to keep him and his family around. Okay, we're not paused, so you can hurry this up. We are at a disadvantage because we're fighting in hills, but we just have so many people, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Yeah, we have won. Victory! So now we just have to settle down into a siege. So this could take a little while. Luckily, we can boost our playing speed. So while that is happening, and it's going to take a little while, the old wound is finally healed, leaving a pretty grotesque scar behind. So we lose wounded and gain scarred. Old wounds have left this character visibly scarred. It actually gives us more prestige a month, which is kind of nice, especially early in the game. And as you can see in our portrait, we actually have a scar running down there. Now I have to be careful because our heir is in fact the guy that hates us. So we are in danger of some assassination attempts. We are in danger. The rise of the Shia. The schism at the heart of Islam dates back to its earliest days. The majority Sunni have long persecuted the followers of Ali, the Shias, forcing them into hiding. The partisans of Ali look to his descendants for leadership, but they are forced to keep their ancestry secret. Now, though, the Shias are mobilizing their strength behind a boy whom they claim to be Ali's rightful heir and imam. Other Islamic jurists claim that the boy is clearly a fraud, but to his followers he is the person they have been waiting for, and now they flock to his banner. Ha! The fools fight amongst themselves. So, where is he? He is the Sultan of Africa. Is it this place or the Tulanid? No, it's this place. So he has got a kingdom in Africa. Did he just become king, maybe? Ignore the beeping. Don't worry about it. 863. No, can't have been. So let's have a look around the rest of the map. So Charlemagne's empire has just recently broken up, resulting in the kingdoms of West Francia, Aquitaine, Lotharingia, East Francia. The country of Luxembourg is apparently in a civil war. Yeah, rebelling against Lotharingia. We've got Bavaria and Italy. So all of Christianity is pretty strong now, but that could split up. The Magyars, who will eventually go on to become Hungary, are at war with Bulgaria and probably going to beat the Jesus out of it. Byzantine is still pretty powerful. Are they at war with anyone? Yep, they're off fighting in... They're fighting in Sicily, of all places. Cumania is going to expand very quickly. We have Khazaria over here, which, if I remember correctly, is probably one of the few Jewish states on the map, yeah. I wish you all the luck. I don't think it's going to go well. We have Holmgarder, Sweden, the various places that are in Denmark, and a lot of warring in England from various Norse powers. So we're going to try and support them as we go, because we want to... It would really help us to have a Norse England. Brittany is actually pretty strong. The Umayyads are probably in a good position to expand. Normally, I say normally... Oh, look, Ghana's all in one piece. I say normally, they tend to expand into Idrisid, but in this game, anything can happen. You can see revolts, you can see weird people end up on the thrones in weird places, stuff breaks up, it is very ahistorical, and all kinds of madness can happen. And I am a big history buff. As for example, West Francia just broke up into a bunch of civil wars as we're watching. I am a big history buff. I, in fact, take a fair bit of schooling in history. So I'm going to be pretty interested in seeing what shenanigans happen. Now, we could speed this up by assaulting, but I don't want to lose the people, especially this early in the game, and assaulting really quickly kills people. So in fact, we are going to call this episode here, it is the very start of what promises to be an interesting life for King Gankom and his descendants. We have a wife, we have held a blot, and we have declared our war to gradually expand our kingdom. We are going to end this video by renaming our kingdom something more interesting. Let's see. King of the Wolf would sound good. What do we want? I'm a big fan of Starks and Game of Thrones. Let's go with Winterhaven. No, it's not it. Winterfell. There we go. No, that doesn't sound interesting. Too many people do that. Let's see. Karak Wolfen. That way we get wolves, favorite animal, and the totally neutral war. There we go. So we are now the petty kingdom of Karak Wolfen, and join us next time as our adventure continues. Check out some of our other videos, and I hope you're having a wonderful time. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave some comments for how you think we should go about this, or if I'm doing anything terribly wrong. And I will see you next time. Ciao, everybody.